What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Thor Media podcast. I am your host, Sock from Detailing Made Simple, and today is going to be different. So we're going to have this in pretty much 3 different stages, and one is going to be the decontamination step, then the polishing step, and then your last standing protection, whether it be a ceramic coating, ceramic sealant, or whatever of your choosing. So for this vehicle, I did coat this vehicle about 9 months ago, and pretty much around June, the day I left, pretty much a couple days later when I moved to South Carolina officially, the owner got into an accident. He was just parked and a car just hit him on the right side, so they had to replace the bumper. They resprayed a couple panels, they replaced the front bumper as well, and pretty much the owner just said, hey, when you come back, can you please re-ceramic coat my car? And he's going to polish it. So that is what we're doing at the moment. So yeah, so we're gonna get started with this. It does have a bunch of water spots, as you see above during the walk around, and I will breeze through the entire process. So let's get started on what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and stuff like that.
Hold up on premium microfiber at the end of the summer. Brother, red and yellow is running wild at the House of Rags. It's August, brother. Yeah. 25% off V1 microfiber, brother. Get that.
15% off the new stuff.
So Hulk up on savings, dude, and head over to houseofrags.com.
Guess what? $99 if you buy now, up to $99. Free shipping. Get you the new stuff all month long.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's get started with the wheels and tires. It's pretty much kicked on there, but nothing too extreme in this case, and the owner did take pretty good care of this vehicle. Now, one thing to note is I'm using products that I have in this garage. I didn't purchase anything else. Just use whatever you have equivalent to what I am using. So I will explain the whole process, because some products you could get at the House of Rags, some products you can't, and that is just because of the nature that I'm in. You know, I'm not just going to go buy products and just have it here when I have similar products that can do the same thing in terms of what they're meant to do to give me the result. So here I have Maniac Wheel and Tire Cleaner diluted 1 to 5, and what I'm going to do is just spray this onto the wheels and tires. Now, in terms of the wheels and tires, they are slightly warm. I had this car sitting here for about 15-20 minutes already. It is about 65 degrees here, believe it or not, today in New York. So since it's still slightly warm, I am going to spray a little bit of water just to cool it down, and ready to spray it on. So Maniac Wheel and Tire Cleaner is, to me, by far the best wheel and tire cleaner in terms of, you know, how well it pulls off the browning, deep cleans your wheels and tires, all with it being safe, and that is the number one aspect. And as you can see, it's already pulling off some of the browning on the wheels themselves, and I am going to scrub this along. And as you saw, the wheels and tires, yeah, they're baked on with some brake dust and stuff, but it's not something that's etched in or heavily baked on. He just, you know, once I told him I was going to be back in, like, you know, a couple weeks later, after he texted me, I said I'll be back in New York in the next, 4 to 5 weeks. I'm pretty sure the owner just said, I'm just not going to wash it since he's going to get everything reset. So I don't blame him on that part. So yeah, so that is pretty much it. He probably just left it parked. He does travel a lot for work as well, so that's why the vehicle pretty much looks, all in all, intact. And with the Maniac Wheel and Tire Cleaner, and I did put, I think, Beneficia on the rims. So I did put a, spray and rinse protection on the rims, so it's going to help it be a lot easier to clean over time. As you can see, just right away, it's just completely clean. So not much to it. The owner does take care of the vehicle when he gets a chance to and when he washes it. So it's not like it's just completely neglected. He just travels for work and then that's about it. And there it is. The wheels and tires done. All right, everyone. So pretty much here, the last protection that was put on was Phoenix EOD Chronos V2. So as you can see, some areas are slightly clogged up, others are beading. And then, of course, some areas were repainted. So don't focus too much if you see a lot of dead spots because a couple of these panels were repainted. And of course, the bumpers were replaced. So you're not going to see any beading on the bumpers because those are brand new bumpers. So yeah, so with that being said, what I'm going to do now is spray Labo Cosmetica's Primus onto the paint. And what this is going to do is, if you haven't seen my video with Titan Tim and my garage in South Carolina, go watch that because it's going to show that Primus really removes 90% of that dirt, grit, and grime after just the foam process. But what I'm going to do is going to do a contact wash with Primus after I rinse it off, and then I am going to do an acid bath with Purifica and spray Purifica on the paint, so that way we can hit it with a double whammy. All right, everyone, so here you see me, I'm just spraying on Primus diluted 1:20 from Labo Cosmetica, and this is their alkaline soap. And most of you already know this is my favorite soap at the moment, and typically I have it diluted inside a IK foamer like I have it here in New York. And the reason for that is you get a true 1:20 dilution ratio. Now, if you're using this in a foam cannon per se with your pressure washer, you're going to need it in a 1:5 dilution, especially if I'm doing it in to completely reset and remove as much grit and grime as possible. Now, you can also use it in a 1:10 dilution ratio inside your foam cannon, and that works perfectly fine. But if I'm doing a complete reset, I just like to make sure that I'm doing everything right the first time, and I know this dilution works the best. So what I do is I let it dwell for about a couple minutes or so, then I rinse it off as you see with my garden hose, and it's going to remove, as I said, 90% of that dirt, grit, and grime. And then from there I spray on Primus again, do the contact wash of Primus, rinse it off, and then I spray on Purifica, which is Labo Cosmetica's acidic soap, and it's the same dilution, 1:20 inside a foamer. I just foam that on, let it dwell for a bit, and do the contact wash again. And the reason for that is you want the acidic soap to penetrate as much as possible. You don't want any traffic film on it. And unfortunately I ran out of memory throughout this whole clip, so all you're really gonna see is the Primus aspect, but I did do the Purifica aspect part, and that is pretty much it. It's gonna attack those water spot minerals to help unclog the pores of the paint and make things easier to clean over time. So yeah, so I'm just gonna fast forward to the clip, and you're gonna see what the point that I'll show you how clean the mitt is when I do a couple panels after just doing the foam, rinse, foam method. So as you see here, I did the roof and the side panels, and 90% of that traffic film, dirt, grit, and grime is off of the paint. Of course, if it's heavily neglected, of course it's not going to do something like that. But something like this that has a ceramic coating protection or ceramic sealant, or it gets washed and taken care of frequently, trust me, it'll go, Primus will do its work a lot better that way, or any soap for that matter. But of course, in this instance, as we're doing a complete reset or a decontamination, the least amount of grime that you have on the paint will result in least scratches and swirls over time. So that's why people say that, you know, ceramic coatings over time, you know, does help with swirls and scratches. It's not going to help with, you know, preventing rock chips or somebody keying your vehicle or anything of that nature. All right, y'all, so I am running out of memory on my phone, but saw me wash this. I spray Primus on, did the contact wash with Primus. Then after that, I rinsed it off again. After the contact wash with Primus, I applied Purifica. It's pretty much rinse and repeat, just the two same dilutions. One is 1 to 20 with the Primus, and the other one is 1 to 20 with the Purifica, which is their acidic salt, to help attack the water spot minerals. Now, we will be attacking the water spot minerals a little bit stronger than just Purifica, but we just want to make sure we make the process over time easier. So here I am going to move on to the decontamination step, which is Sidero diluted 1 to 3 inside my sprayer here. I'm just going to spray this down. A couple sprays on my clay towel. I am using the DIY Detail clay towel, their V1 version. They do have a V2 version with all the 4 squares. Don't worry about that. Both of them will easily do the job. And in terms of contamination, this barely has any. So makes me feel great about this. Now, one thing a lot of people don't know about Sidero is you're pretty much hitting it with a double whammy. Sidero does attack iron fallout, but it does also attack lime scaling. So if you were to hit anything that has, say, lime scaling like water spot minerals or acidic content, what's going to happen is that area would turn green and not purple. So it's just great to know about that. And you're just going to clay until everything feels smooth. That feels smooth. I'll come back around here and dunk into your bucket as frequently as you need to. And I'm just going to let Sidero dwell there. Sidero does have a very long dwell time. It's one of my favorite iron removers just because of cost. And of course, how easy it is to dilute. Once you get dilution ratios down, trust me, this is probably one of the main products you're ever going to be using in your detailing arsenal, because iron removers are expensive. They're not cheap. So I am going to rinse and repeat throughout this whole thing, and I will see you once we're ready to attack the water spot minerals, which I will be actually using a real acid cleaner to help remove those water spot minerals. So I will see you. Decontamination wash has been done, and with the whole thing with using Purifica and also using Sidero with the clay towel, we were able to remove pretty much all the water spots. So I am happy with this, just for the simple fact that I may not need to use a dedicated water spot remover after this. So I will try to tackle this spot. I do have the Mr. Twister here, and I'm going to use a acid type of cleaner. So I'm going to be using, for this section of the portion, it will be, or for this portion, it'll be Jimbo's Pure Magic Cleaner. I do not have Ragnarok over here, but it's pretty much the same premise. So instead of using the Mr. Twister, because it is an acid, I'm going to be using just a regular Kirkland microfiber towel. And I'm just going to spray it right on here, and you don't want to let it dry. You just want to see if it's going to remove the water spot with ease. And I think the sprayer is, oh no, I thought it was clogged. But yeah, you're just going to rub it into the paint and just wipe off. Let me just make sure you neutralize your acid just like anything else. So I'm just going to spray a whole bunch of water in here just to help neutralize it. And as you saw, those water spots were completely removed. So what I'm going to do is, to help aid with those harder, stubborn type of water spots, I'm going to apply a little bit of Pure Magic Cleaner all over on the sides of the paint or on the paintwork. That way, once I do the polishing step, because this is just pretty much a paint enhancement, I don't want to focus too much of my time trying to remove water spots. So what I'm going to do is just rub Pure Magic Cleaner. You could do this with Ragnarok as well. Just use it in It's dilution ratio 1:5. For Pure Magic Cleaner, I am using this in a 1:3 dilution ratio. And you're gonna rub this onto the paint. And again, just don't let it dry. Let it activate, work itself in, and rinse off. And trust me, as you saw on the hood where it gets mostly baked on with water spots, trust me, on the side panel in itself, it is going to easily remove those water spots there. So same thing here on this side fender, and you're just gonna do panel by panel. You wanna work panel by panel, you are working with an acid. Pure Magic Cleaner does have a little bit of a kickback compared to Ragnarok. Now in terms of cost basis, Ragnarok is cheaper. In terms of cost, if any of you want to know, that is because cost is sometimes a big factor every time I make a video. So yes, this is pretty much double the price, Jumbo's Pure Magic Cleaner for Ragnarok, but Ragnarok is a little bit more dilutable than Pure Magic Cleaner. And that is it. So I'm just gonna rinse and repeat, and that pretty much concludes. I'll rinse and repeat once I dry the vehicle. I'll see you all on the outro. All right, everyone, so we've completely deconned the vehicle step by step, prep and ready to get polished. And yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed this Store Media podcast on how to do things. And I will bring you in close so you can see that all those water spot etchings and everything has been removed. And that is because we did use a acid cleaner. So as you can see, some of it, some residual stuff still do remain, but we were able to remove most of those etchings. And he just said that this happened a couple months ago. And he said with some sticky stuff. And yeah, but over time, as you can see, we remove 90% of that scarring. So what's going to happen is once we're ready to polish, guess what? It's all going to be easy to remove, and we're just worried about the minor swirls and scratches on the paint. And yeah, so hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we are ready to start phase 2 on this Toyota Highlander. So I will see you all on the next one. Peace. If you guys want to use any other products I forgot to mention, use code DMS at checkout for 10% off. And yep, so see you all on the next one. Peace.